Game ain't over. The sun is shining. And it ain't over.
You wanted the best, you got the best. From my home studio on Long Island, New York, welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto. Mayhem Fest is rebranding as Miss Mayhem Fest. Let's get into it. So this was actually from Rockfeed. It's being covered here by Lamb Goat. Mayhem Festival to rebrand as Miss Mayhem, featuring all female-fronted bands in 2025. Sumerian founder Ash Avildsen has revealed that the Mayhem Festival will return in 2025 with a brand new direction dubbed Miss Mayhem. The rebranded festival will exclusively feature female-fronted bands. Avildsen has confirmed that 8 acts will be a part of this lineup, with more details expected soon. This marks a major shift for the once annual metal tour, which was briefly resurrected in 2023 as a one-off destination event. All right, I'm going to give my take on this, and I'll probably be labeled a chauvinistic pig or a sexist or something. I don't like it. And I actually feel like it's hopping on a trend, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of female-fronted bands that are making a ton of noise right now. Stitched Up Heart, and of course Spirit Box. There's a bunch of others. But the thing about Mayhem Fest, and I went to some of the earlier ones that made it great, was it was really a nice mix. I think more so in the early years of some of the older classic metal bands and some of the newer stuff. And if you're going to have a lineup like this, there really weren't a lot of bands that would fit the Mayhem Fest bill that were female-fronted pre-2000s. Like, you're not going to see any 80s or 90s acts that I can really think of off the top of my head that would be appropriate. And I was looking at the list of Mayhem Fest lineups here on Wikipedia, and, like, you'll see, man, it's really a who's who. Like, you got these classic 80s bands like Anthrax who have done it. You know, you got the bands that were big in the 2000s, Asking Alexandria, big names like Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, it would be a lot to go through. Born of Osiris, I think it was a fixture for a few years here. Have to look at the whole thing here. Is this? Yeah, this is everything. Okay. Sorry that I'm skipping around here, guys. But, yeah, you got a classic band like Cannibal Corpse. And it would be a lot to go through. Amur, you know, and then you got the newer bands like Escuelo Grind. That's a female-fronted band. Hatebreed has done a bunch. Anyway, point being, I just think it should be about having the best bands that fit the bill. From what I remember, the reason the festival went away is it wasn't grossing enough money. And I think when you do something gimmicky like this, and that is what I kind of see it as, you're going to be less likely to be bringing in more money. There probably are going to be those people who would go to the traditional Mayhem Fest and then they see, oh, it's all female-fronted bands. I'm going to sit this one out. I can tell you, for me, there are definitely female-fronted bands I like and who are really making noise. I saw Kitty this past year in Brooklyn, and they sold out a venue that they definitely wouldn't have had they have not gone away for so long. And it builds that anticipation and momentum when a band goes away for a number of years like they did. And the reason they went away, just like a lot of bands, is they really weren't making the money that they needed to sustain as a touring band. And now they are. So there's something really cool about that. I have a feeling Kitty will be one of those bands, and they are a band I enjoy seeing. But, I mean, truthfully, I think I'd want to see a band like them and maybe a band like Born of Osiris again and maybe a classic band like Anthrax on the lineup. And I think there's a lot of other people like me who would feel that way, and I think that this lineup is only going to appeal to a much smaller demographic. Now, I don't know what size venues they're going to be playing, because I remember when the early Mayhem Fests, they were playing really big places. Like, I believe PNC Bank Arts Center in New Jersey, I think that's where I was at. Places like that. And to me, a female-fronted bill, I mean, I could be wrong, because bands like Spirit Box are getting really huge. Can they play amphitheaters? I don't personally know, but I just think the best case scenario for a festival like Mayhem Fest would be a good mix of bands from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. People on the heavier side like a Born of Osiris, but then a classic metal band that people appreciate, like maybe Pantera coming back to do something like this. And I say coming back because they're back, but you know what I mean? The reunited lineup of Pantera, because they've never done Mayhem Fest. They would definitely draw a number of people. So, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling some people in the comments will say this is very DEI, and I encourage that here. We're not a politically correct channel. You can leave your comments below. Say whatever you want. I think for me, it just sounds more gimmicky. It's more of the time, because right now there is like an abundance of female-fronted bands, as I said, and there are more women getting into metal. I remember going to shows in the early 2000s, and it was dominated by guys, and now you do see more women at shows. However, the metal audience is still predominantly male, and you're going to basically have a good number of them, a good chunk, who are probably going to say, I'll sit this one out, because there's always a million options of festivals and concerts to go to, and this is going to appeal to a smaller group of people. So I don't think it's the best idea, but then again, I might look at the lineup and feel differently after I see it. I don't think I will. And hey, I've never run a festival, so maybe it will be successful. But I just think the best formula for success is to have a good mix of different demographics and not to go with something gimmicky like this. That's just how I feel. Let me know how you feel, and please check out more videos of the channel. Check out the merch store for these badass double-sided mugs that will keep your drinks hot or cold and keep you styling in the Ian Scotto Rocks limited edition t-shirt, which just looks badass. I greatly appreciate you guys keeping the channel alive so that we can expand from here. Once again, let me know what you think, and be sure to check out this video right here to binge watch more great content on Ian Scotto Rocks. We are not slowing down, and we're going to keep things going, but we need your help to do so. So like the video and let me know what you think.